BJP now hitting out at TMC with a viral video of TMC leader Madan Mitra, where the BJP is accusing Madan Mitra and the TMC of insulting Hindu gods and beliefs, especially his comment that he had made against Lord Ram. That video, which is now going viral, has armed the BJP to go after the TMC. The TMC leader, the TMC MLA Madan Mitra, had said that Lord Ram was a Muslim and not a Hindu. The BJP has now added that this is a pattern, not an isolated comment, and this goes to show the continuous abuse of India's culture and history and not merely a slip of tongue.
तृणमूल कांग्रेस के नेता मदन मित्रा ये कह रहे हैं कि प्रभु श्री राम मुसलमान हैं। ये 140 करोड़ देशवासियों का अपमान है, ये हम सब हिंदुओं का अपमान है। इससे ये स्पष्ट होता है कि तृणमूल कांग्रेस एक हिंदू विरोधी पार्टी है, जिसमें हर तृणमूल कांग्रेस का नेता हिंदुओं के खिलाफ बयान ममता बनर्जी के कहने पर कहता है। इससे ये भी स्पष्ट होता है कि प्रभु श्री राम के भव्य मंदिर बनने के बाद ममता बनर्जी और उनका तुष्टीकरण का गैंग इतना हताश और फ्रस्ट्रेट हो चुका है कि अब हमारे भगवान का भी अपमान कर रहा है। इन सब से आज ये एक और बात सामने आई है कि ममता बनर्जी की पार्टी एक तरफ घुसपैठियों का समर्थन कर रही है, दूसरी तरफ प्रभु श्री राम का अपमान कर रही है। बंगाल की जनता, देश की जनता ऐसी घुसपैठिया समर्थन पार्टी को और साथ में प्रभु श्री राम का अपमान करने वाली तृणमूल कांग्रेस को उखाड़ फेंकेगी। प्रभु श्री राम का अपमान कांग्रेस पार्टी भी किया करती थी। देश के सनातनी समाज ने कांग्रेस पार्टी को विपक्ष में बैठा दिया। अब समय बंगाल का आ गया है।
Kamalika, my colleague, now joins us, getting us more details on this. Kamalika, there's this video that is now going viral where the TMC MLA is heard saying that Lord Ram was a Muslim, he was not a Hindu, as is being claimed by many and as is being revered by many in the country. He says that this is what the truth is and not many people know about it. Is there any sort of context that he offers before or after in that particular video? What exactly is he getting at with that comment?
A video that has gone viral. We have not verified that video. That has been tweeted by BJP. So here he is clearly seen. First, he is saying that he believes that Ram was not an Hindu. Ram was not a Hindu. Ram was a Muslim. And then he said that the BJP people are running here and there. And then he is saying that just after that, he is saying that what is the title of Ram? Does anybody know the title of the run? And one Gatia Baba came, whose one side looks like Modi and one side looks like Shah. That person said Ram is Hindu. What is Ram's title? Ram's title is Ram Jetmalani. Totally whatever he said, it does not have any sense in truest sense. From it's not his first statement, his second statement, whatever she said, if this video is true, does not have any sense. But definitely is not connected, does not have any sense, may not be the right word, is not connected properly. And this is clearly where he is saying first thing that is being heard is clear that Ram was a Muslim and Ram was not a Hindu. Now that is something which has really sparked the controversy. I called up Madan Mitra to ask him that whether he has said something like this or not. So then he told me, no, I have not said something like that. He totally denied. But he told me that I have only questioned whether Ram had title or not. That's what Madan Mitra tells CNN News 18. But this is something, and Madan Mitra is known for making such weird comments. That's very clear. But this is something which he has said is absolutely uncalled for, and definitely this is something which the BJP has, this has sparked controversy, and BJP has taken up this issue.
So far, any reaction from the TMC? Madan Mitra, like you were pointing out, he's come out and said that this is not what I said. This comment has been taken out of context and being blown out of proportion by the BJP. But any reaction from his own party on this?
Till now, there is no reaction from the party, but this is something which is quite shocking, because how can he say something like this? That on Ram, that is something which is absolutely uncalled for. That is absolutely not accepted. So we will be reaching out to we have reached out to the party, but till now, officially there has been no reaction. But something very weird that Madan Mitra has said, obviously.
Right, Kamalika, do stay on with us. Dilip Ghosh of the BJP is also with us on the broadcast. So thank you so much for speaking with us here on CNN News 18. Madan Mitra, while speaking with CNN News 18, told my colleague that this comment is being blown out of proportion by the BJP, and that's not what he meant. Does that cut any ice with you?
देखिए, मदन मित्र जैसा नेता बंगाल की बदनामी के लिए बहुत बड़ी जिम्मेदार है। और उनके पार्टी टीएमसी भी ऐसी है, देश के संविधान, देश का सुप्रीम कोर्ट, देश के सर्वोच्च नेतृत्व माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी, उपराष्ट्रपति, माननीय प्रधानमंत्री, गृह मंत्री, यहाँ तक कि हमारे यहाँ राज्यपाल के बारे में भी वो लोग इस प्रकार अनप शनप शब्द प्रयोग करते हैं। और आज उनका सत्ता है इसलिए कुछ भी कर लेते हैं। लेकिन बिहार यूपी में भी कुछ लोग थे जो हमारे धर्म, संस्कृति, हमारे भगवान और हमारे जो मान्यता है देश के बारे में ऐसे शब्द प्रयोग करते थे। आज वो कहाँ है, उनका हर्ष क्या है, ये देखना चाहिए। इनके भी 26 में वही होने वाली है।
दिलीप घोष जी, क्या आपको लगता है कि टीएमसी के जो नेता है मदन मित्रा जैसे, इनकी एक आदत बन चुकी है टू मेक दीज काइंड ऑफ रूटीन कमेंट्स, सच motor mouths as many would call them, of the party, because the party always says that it's a personal opinion and we don't stand by it?
नहीं, पर्सनल ओपिनियन एक पब्लिक लाइफ में रह करके पब्लिक फिगर कैसे ऐसे बात कर सकते हैं? इनके एक मंत्री ने हमारे माननीय राष्ट्रपति जी के बारे में क्या शब्द प्रयोग किया? ममता बनर्जी जी भी कई बार ऐसे प्रयोग करते हैं। यही कल्चर है और ऐसे लोग समाज के जो नीचे रहना चाहिए उनको ऊपर बैठाया गया, तो उसका परिणाम वही होता है।
जी, दिलीप घोष जी, धन्यवाद हमसे बात करने के लिए. We'll of course keep a track of that and see if Madan Mitra comes out and clarifies and what the TMC does really, whether they stand by him in his defense or whether they distance themselves from these comments, because that's usually the playbook that we see, that all of such controversial comments by the party are always distanced from, claiming that these are personal opinions. We'll keep a track of that, but the story we want to track here on the Plain Speak is about our parliament. It's a temple of democracy, or that's what it is supposed to be. But today, it was a theatre of disorder. As the Viksit Bharat Ji Ramji bill was taken up for passage, the nation watched not a reason Ramji bill was taken up for passage, the nation watched not a reason debate, but chaos. There were papers that were flying across the Lok Sabha like confetti. It wasn't a celebration. It wasn't meant to be one. It was a mockery. A mockery of procedure, of parliament, and most dangerously, of people's mandate. These are members of parliament that are people's representatives put in the house there to fight for people's issues. The Lok Sabha is not a battlefield. It's not a wrestling arena. It's not a place to drown out voices with noise. But that's exactly what we see ever so often. It's a forum that was built by the Constitution, that's sustained by discipline and sanctified by debate. But unfortunately, it's unable to discuss an issue that affects every single Indian. The Lok Sabha Business Advisory Council had agreed to discuss the pollution issue and find solutions to it. But it was pushed aside like it didn't matter. Adjournment's pandemonium continued and the debate on pollution was abandoned today. Now, until yesterday, there was a rather rare show of unity. The Parliament was poised to hold a debate on the pollution crisis under Rule 193 that allows for a short discussion on urgent public issue matters. Congress MP Priyanka Gandhi Vadra, DMK MP Kanimoi and BJP MP Basuri Swaraj were scheduled to raise a discussion on the crisis choking especially the National Capital Region. The debate was scheduled to take place a little after 2 p.m. today, but right after 1 p.m., after the bill was taken up for passage in the Lok Sabha, while the Agriculture Minister was still speaking, there were papers that were flung across. The House was immediately adjourned, and that meant that adjournment wasn't just for a few minutes. The adjournment was until tomorrow, and that meant no discussion on pollution. Because the political showdown over this rebranding of the MGNREGA scheme seemed to have dominated the proceedings of the Lok Sabha today. There were completely unruly scenes that played out. Visuals emerged of MPs from the opposition ranks storming into the well of the House, disrupting those proceedings, even as the Lok Sabha Speaker asked them to go back to their seats. There were placards that were raised, there were slogans that were raised, and absolutely no business being done as far as putting that bill to vote for passage was concerned. The opposition was up in arms. Some MPs even tore the copies of the bill proposing that change. They flung them at the Union Minister, Shivraj Singh Chauhan. You see, as he was addressing the Parliament, papers are flying across his face. The aftermath, the Lok Sabha proceedings were adjourned. The much-awaited debate on pollution crisis junked, at least for today. Tomorrow is another day, but will that happen tomorrow? We don't know just yet. While petty politics dominated the session inside the Parliament premises, outside, smog continued to blanket the national capital. And the numbers are alarming. Some of the worst hit areas in the national capital were Anand Vihar at 415. That was the AQI that was reported. Vivek Vihar was next with an AQI of 400, followed by Jahangirpuri with an AQI of 405. Rohini at 400, then we had ITU at 399 and Munka at 398, none of which is conducive to be breathing freely in. This air emergency is real. We see this every single winter in the national capital especially. But unfortunately this year we've seen it in several other cities of the country as well. Here's what the Parliament could have done, should have done ideally. Not bicker and disrupt the proceedings for one, but focus on policy making front. The current national ambient air quality standards were last updated in 2009. Parliament can mandate a revision that reflects modern health data. That discussion could have paved the way for that. A parliamentary standing committee has urged that pollution reduction targets be backed by law to ensure accountability. This could have been turned into a reality had this discussion taken place, had these suggestions come up on the floor of the House. The Parliament can also ensure better utilization of funds. 11,200 crore rupees have been allocated under the National Clean Air Programme by instituting strict performance reviews. But do they actually happen? Expanding the network of continuous ambient air quality monitoring systems and ensuring that they are equitably distributed across all areas is something the Parliament could also do. But for that, you need to be on the same page and hold a discussion. Parliament can facilitate mission mode cooperation between several ministries to avoid such siloed approaches and treat this crisis, treat the air pollution as a public health priority rather than a political issue. The Parliament, which can also bring in enforcement and stricter one at that against key sources of pollution, stubble burning, industrial emissions, vehicular emissions, all of them contribute to Delhi being a gas chamber every single winter. Lawmakers can incentivize transition to clean and green energy and to mobility, all of which could have been great points to bring about if that discussion would have taken place today. But unfortunately, the pandemonium took precedence over people's issues. So while you and I choke, and all of these parliamentarians, mind you too, must be choking, they unfortunately continue to bicker inside the Parliament and hold protests outside. Why is this air emergency not a priority for them? That's what we ask on Plain Speak.
को कैसे कम किया जाए एनसीआर दिल्ली में, तो मैं समझती हूँ कहीं ना कहीं सरकार दिखी भागती हुई इस महत्वपूर्ण मुद्दे पर चर्चा करने के लिए।
पंजाब की पोल्यूशन इतनी बुरी नहीं है जितनी दिल्ली की है, तो क्लियरली ये अपनी जिम्मेवारियों से भागने के लिए ये सरकार ने पंजाब के किसानों को बदनाम किया।
हम चाहते थे, पहले दिन से चाहते थे, लगातार हम बोल रहे हैं इनको करना नहीं है ना, दिक्कत ये करना नहीं है इनको।
Our government has taken the reins of Delhi day and night. We are working together. Definitely it will take time, but we are committed to provide clean environment to Delhi.
Let's open this up. Charu Pragya, spokesperson of the BJP, is with me here in the studios. Abhishek Dutt, spokesperson of the Congress. Jayadhar Gupta, clean air activist, and Dilip Cherian, brand and image consultant, will be joining us shortly. Before we get into the politics of it, I want to ask Jayadhar Gupta. There is a lot that can be done, should be done, could have been done. And these are things we often talk about, and every single year, unfortunately. But when we want our parliamentarians to stand united in a crisis like this and fight for us, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be a priority for them.
You know, what I can't understand is that there was cooperation on the pandemic, I mean, while we had COVID. So now we have a graver situation at hand. We have a situation at hand that repeats like clockwork from Dussehra to Holi year after year. It's not like the union government is not aware of air pollution. It's not like it's kind of creeped up on them and they got caught with their pants down. This was part of their election promise. It was part of their manifesto, a clean and green Delhi, including a clean Yamuna. So why are they now behaving like they are surprised by this? This is on auto-repeat mode every year. I mean, I've been saying the same thing on your channel for 12 years now. So, you know, this is a national disaster. This is a situation of war. And we have toxic politics that is kind of taking precedence over health and life. I don't understand it. I don't understand the form of government we have in this country anymore. All I'm seeing is arrogance. And let me tell you, people like me who are sick, who have children, are very, very angry. And you're going to face this wrath at the next election, because everybody's got somebody who's really, really sick in their family right now. And you are playing with our health and our life. Let me tell you, what we are breathing today defines how long and how well we are going to live tomorrow. And we are not going to forget this.
Absolutely. And for somebody who's coming from Mumbai, this clearly is not a crisis that's limited to the National Capital Region anymore, because this year Mumbai saw equally bad air, something that usually doesn't happen for Mumbai. We had several other cities in the country that have witnessed such toxic levels of air as well. And yet we don't see a constructive dialogue take place, a motivation to find solutions. Charu Pragya, why do you think that is? I mean, in Parliament, there should have been a discussion. This was a 3-week-long session and it ends tomorrow.
Poonam, good evening to you and good evening to all our viewers as well. The discussion will happen, and while the discussion is happening, the work is already happening on ground in Delhi. And I completely understand what Mr. Gupta is feeling, because I live in the same city. I have a young child. We have older parents, grandparents who are suffering the Delhi air. But did the Delhi air quality become like this just this November and December? Or it has been deteriorating year after year for such a long time that today we're left behind dealing with the crisis that Mr. Gupta is comparing to COVID right now. Mr. Gupta, let me break this down, and I'm not making excuses. I'm only telling you the work the government is doing on ground. I did not interrupt you, sir, and very respectfully and very humbly. There is zero arrogance here. Our minister, I did not interrupt you, sir. Allow me to finish speaking before you come in. Allow me to finish speaking because I did not interrupt you.
Mr. Gupta, let her finish. I'll give you your opportunity to rebut.
Thank you. I do not see any arrogance here, sir, because our minister humbly apologized, because he admitted he couldn't wave a magic wand and fix the issues piling up for 11 years in 10 months flat. He apologized for that, even though you are expecting it. But then who else would you expect from, apart from the Bharatiya Janata Party government? Let me tell you some work that has been happening on ground, so our citizens also know, and it's important I put this out. And I will also address issues that I have been raising for years and years, which we are finally working on. Do you know, in 2013, the Supreme Court said Delhi needs at least 11,000 buses. At that point of time, Delhi approximately had 6,000 buses. Today, Delhi has barely 5,000. You know why the number became so low? Because Aam Aadmi Party did not replace those buses. In the last 8 months alone, 1,400 buses, EV buses, have been added by the Bhajpa Sarkar. You will not acknowledge that. We have promised in our manifesto a clean Delhi, a green Delhi, but that is happening month after month, with work happening month after month. And you have to acknowledge that. Like I said, unless you're looking for a magic wand solution, unless you're actually hoping for that to happen, you have to listen to me. Let me finish. I want to say certain things, and I will be grateful if you will ask Mr. Gupta to wait.
Mr. Gupta, just a second, please. I'll come to you.
Everybody is in the same city, Mr. Gupta.
Let's keep this civil so that everyone's point of view is heard.
Yes,
I'll come back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta. You're not the only citizen of Delhi.
This is not a political discussion, ma'am.
No, this is a discussion on work happening on ground. And if you're asking questions of the government, it becomes a political discussion. I'm answering on behalf of the government. If you have no intention of hearing what the government has to say and then saying it's not a political discussion, then you can have one in your living room. You wouldn't be on a political debate show about this. Can I speak, please?
About band-aid fixes.
Mr. Gupta, I'll come back to you. Abhishek Dutt, I know you want to come in as well. But Charu Pragya, the problem here is that a lot of people like Mr. Gupta and a lot of other people in the national capital do feel that, yes, there are solutions that or measures that have been taken into account, but they are a little too late and there are knee-jerk reactions.
No, so Poonam, and I want to say all this, right? Because questions are being raised of the government and I want to answer on behalf of it. One, it's no longer a seasonal problem. The day Delhi government, Rekha ji, took charge, it became our priority. So whether it is the water of the Yamuna or the air pollution, we are making efforts every single day, and I will list it out for you. We have a 2,700 crore deployment program which is already on the ground. Today we have enforcement teams, 1,800 plus of them which didn't exist last year, sir. We have collected fines of 400 crores from buses, cars, private vehicles, construction sites which didn't happen last year. Construction inspections in November alone is over 9,000. 42,000 potholes have been fixed in just 1 year. What was happening till last year? Mist is on 326 electric poles. There is a daily deployment of 388 anti-smog guns. 270 water sprinklers are working in Delhi, sprinkling the roads and places where there is excess dust. 75 mechanical sweepers are there. And when I'm talking about buses, understand this. This is not China. You cannot mandate suddenly and say take all the cars off the road, because if we did that, there would be another kind of a political discussion. What are we doing instead? We are strengthening public transport system. Again, it should have been done after 2013 when the Supreme Court made the observations. It didn't happen. Today, BJP is adding hundreds of buses. Every day, sir. Even today, 100 buses were given to the state of Delhi. DTC routes were taken down by 30% by Aam Aadmi Party. I didn't hear anybody questioning it apart from some of us. There was no acknowledgement of that, and those buses were not bought. Aam Aadmi Party hired those buses. Today also, out of the 3,400 electric buses on the streets of Delhi, 1,400 have been added by just my party in 8 months. 8 months. 1,400. We have promised 7,500 electric buses by the end of next year. All of these are measures which are not very long term, sir. But they are step by step, and no, they are not cosmetic, because they will make a difference. Pothole fixing will solve the dust problem. Looking after, misting and everything will solve the dust problem.
Sure, but there are problems that are causing issues. The solution seems to be the bigger problem, especially this non-BS6 vehicles and the entry that was stopped. That is a problem, especially since Delhi is not just Delhi. There are vehicles that are not registered just in Delhi that travel there. Yeah. There is a reason this NCR was formed as a unit. But now, if there is a non-BS6 vehicle that is registered in Gurgaon or in Noida, that person for work or for any other reason will not be able to use his or her vehicle to go into Delhi. And that's problematic, which is why these questions are being asked. But Abhishek Dutt, as far as our parliament is concerned, shouldn't we ask questions? Shouldn't we ask questions? Yes.
Let me first correct some facts that my friend from...
I'll give you your time. Let me ask my question first. I'll give you your time. You can say that when I ask you my question. Okay. I know there are questions to be asked. I know there are answers to be given. What better place than the parliament to do that? And yet, for some reason, we just see both sides blaming each other for the pandemonium and nothing happens out of it.
I think you didn't hear the speech of Mr. Rahul Gandhi, who very clearly said, let's not talk about the past. Let's give a future. You know what happens during TV debate is we sit on the TV channel and we give wrong facts, and within half an hour the debate is over. Let me correct you on the first fact. These buses that Bharatiya Janata Party is claiming were not bought during their time. The Honorable LG of Delhi had stalled these buses, which was bought in the last government. I'm the biggest criticizer of Aam Aadmi Party. But the Honorable LG sitting in Delhi had stopped these buses so that they don't take publicity. Bharatiya Janata Party has not bought these buses in 8 months because it is impossible to create 1,000 buses in 8 months. The manufacturer can't supply. So that's first myth. I will tell you about the priority of this government. When this government was formed in Delhi, you will be shocked to know in the last 6 months, one sitting member of parliament along with a minister has created a draft alcohol policy in 6 months. If this government could create a draft alcohol policy to be tabled in the cabinet in Delhi, why couldn't they work on Yamuna and air pollution? The priorities are not there, and every time a Bharatiya Janata Party spokesperson comes on TV, they say for the last 20 years, they must understand in municipal corporation, Bharatiya Janata Party has been there for the last 24 years. In Delhi for 11 years. So, they have to come with solutions. Every time they start cribbing and they start criticizing. What do you have on table? What have you done in 8 months? Today, the sprinklers is not a solution. The solution is when you came to power in 8 months, you could have created a strategy. Today, Delhi is an NCR. We cater to Noida, we cater to Rohtak, we cater to Gurgaon, we cater to Faridabad. All of them is Bharatiya Janata Party government. Tell me, not even once, I'm officially asking the spokesperson of Bharatiya Janata Party, has the Chief Minister of Delhi cared to have one meeting with Yogi Adityanath along with Chief Minister of UP, Haryana, to have a solution on air pollution? The answer is zero. They are concerned about a draft liquor policy which has been created in 6 months. Why not a policy in air pollution? What have they done for air pollution? And also, Mr. Rahul Gandhi very clearly stated that let's not criticize each other.
Completely missed what I said
Delhi
about the policy. The first thing I talked about was the policy, Abhishek.
Let me complete first.
Yeah, complete and then I will rebut.
See, the problem that Delhi has is, I'm giving you a solution also. You please tell Rekha Gupta ji to do it. You know, as per the Central Pollution Board, Delhi needs 80 AQI meters. At the moment, we have 40, out of which 29 are placed in wrong direction. That is the CAG report. Let's go with facts today. We need 80 AQI meters. They need to be positioned in the right manner. We all will support you. You come up with a plan. You come up with a short-term plan. You come up with a long-term plan. Let all governments get together. Let all political parties get together. Let people like who sitting on the TV channel, let's give them a solution. Why do we criticize each other all the time? Aam Aadmi Party didn't do anything. It was my RTI in 2021, which clearly said that Aam Aadmi Party has not bought a single bus. But we are suffering because of that. Let's all sit together. You tell us what
and that's exactly what the people of this country want, which is why we wanted the parliament to debate it, Charu Pragya.
Absolutely. And Abhishek, I agree with you. We need to work on solutions because, like I said, we all live here, we all breathe this air. But because you're quoting CAG reports to me, let me also tell you a few facts, right? You were talking about buses. 280 crore was given by the central government to the Delhi government to buy buses. This money was not deployed, Abhishek. This is important information. Let me tell you a little bit more. Let me give you data. No, let me say all this. It's important. 1 minute, Abhishek. Speak after me. I waited for you to finish speaking. Let me finish because you have to understand that there was money.
Abhishek, you asked questions. You want the answers, and so do we. Let her give the answers.
Right? And
which year?
I'm giving you the answers. Now, let me also remind you of this. If you look at RTI replies, if you look at the CAG report, you know what was the problem? The money did come from the central government, both for metro expansion and to buy buses.
No,
this money was not spent by Delhi government, Abhishek. There is an RTI reply. Go back and check that. There's no point in you and me speaking over each other. There's really no point in that. If you do not want information, don't ask the questions.
The most unfortunate bit, and I am sure Advaita Kala, who joins us as well, will agree on this, is that this is exactly what the people of Delhi and the people of the country don't want. Politicians across the board trading barbs and pointing in each other's direction. But we wanted unity and we wanted a discussion so that all of these questions are asked and all of these answers are addressed in a manner they should.
Absolutely. One wants political unity on an issue such as this one, which impacts everyone across the board, across political affiliation, across class, caste, everything. So I don't see why there is such an argument. You know, year after year, this problem just seems to be compounding and there is no solution in sight. I find it hard to believe that as a country who is so tech savvy, so highly educated, has some of the best technological institutions in the world, has an educated populace, this is the capital of the city, we're still not able to come together. And it's very important, not only just politicians, but even civil society needs to be included in this conversation. I don't see why the chief ministers and the Congress spokesperson is right. All three governments are led by the BJP. What is so hard for them to come together and have a conversation about this? That should not be difficult. Secondly, why is it impossible for Parliament to discuss this in a very serious manner, which has not been done? This is a national crisis. It's a national health crisis. You have schools that have been shut down. Kids can't go to school. You have elderly who can't venture outside for evening walks. They have to stay indoors. Other people who have comorbidities can't get out. I mean, life is literally on hold every single year for 3 to 4 months. And there is no solution. There is no effort to work towards a solution. And that is what is most problematic. It doesn't matter what the previous government did or the future governments will do. Bottom line is we are all breathing.
No, I can't believe you're saying that. Of course it matters. Advaita, of course it matters.
Can I just jump in?
No, one second. How does it not matter? One second. If green cess is collected and not spent, how can you say it does
Okay,
not matter?
I request everyone to not speak over each other. That nothing comes off it, please.
I think it's an irresponsible statement, frankly. Because if green cess is collected and not spent, we must ask questions of the previous government. RTI shows that around 1% of green cess was spent. Why collect it if you have no intentions of spending it? Today, the government is deploying funds to buy all the equipment that I just quoted, probably before you joined the show, Advaita. I'm not going to be speaking over you. I waited for you to speak and raise your questions, and I will repeat again once you wait. Can I come in now, Poonam? No, I completely disagree because I think no responsible citizen can make a
Advaita and
statement
Charu,
like
let me
that.
come in here, please.
I'm scoring. It is just not the time for political
No,
scoring.
this is not a political
Very
speech.
sad
No,
that
what are you
this-
expecting?
But you know,
If the citizens are-
Charu Pragya, the criticism. But
No,
you know,
with due
Charu Pragya,
respect,
the
and we take
criticism
the
is
criticism.
the criticism
We do
is
take the
that the
criticism.
only time that there are answers that are forthcoming is when they're pointed in the direction of the predecessors.
No, not at all. Not at all. Did I start the debate like that? Did I not tell you what is being done on ground? If you're saying no efforts are being made, the 2,700 crore which we've just started spending only 10 months ago, I have given you a whole breakdown of that. But how can you say that if only 1% of green cess was spent by the previous governments, it
But that
doesn't
is
matter
central-
today?
that is
How
cent-
can
that
you
is all
say
central
that
government.
metro payments
That
were
is
not
central
done by the
government.
previous
Should not
government? It
control.
doesn't
Sure.
matter today.
Spend the money.
It matters because all of this adds up to the mess that we are facing today. We are cleaning up this mess.
So we may have baggage
Poonam,
that we
once
have
again.
from the past, but we need to look at what we can do right now and to ensure that this does not
Yeah.
happen another winter, which is next year.
Yes.
But it's easier said than done. I have very limited time left because I want to ask Jayadhar Gupta this. As far as getting consensus and finding a solution is concerned, is that possible? I mean, like I said, we've been talking about this every single year. It doesn't look like there's going to be a solution in the next 2 or 3 years anyway. So then what can we expect as citizens of the country, as citizens of the national capital? Can we have anything better come up our way?
Look, as a civilian who's been watching this for years, the highest panchayat of this country, the parliament, has time to discuss Vande Mataram and MGNREGA when there's a national disaster and we're in a state of war in the national capital and most of North India and actually most of the country. That just shows where the intent is right there. Everybody wants to avoid this issue. And let me tell my spokesperson here from the Bharatiya Janata Party, I'm worse off this year than I was last year or the year before. And that's all I care about. I don't care who was in government. I know I voted for you. I expect more from you. Please deliver. And please treat this as an emergency. Let's not play politics. That's all I got.
And that's really what the people of this country want, that at least on issues like this, which are about health crises that we face and which only seem to be worsening with each passing year, then that is something that we need to build consensus on. And that's really what the voter of this country, every citizen of this country hopes from our parliamentarians. Elected representatives that were put in the parliament to raise issues exactly like these and to fight our fight. I leave it there. I have no time left. I thank you all for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. We do shift focus to Karnataka now, where the Congress government is facing sharp questions. All of this is happening over the guarantees that they promised before they came to power and seem to not be able to follow through with. The flagship Shakti Guarantee Scheme is now the biggest one in problem. It has left a massive financial hole in state transport corporations in Karnataka. The government has admitted that there are outstanding dues that have mounted to 4,000 crore rupees. That has already pushed this cash-strapped transport body into a deep financial crisis, which eventually is going to mount for the state government as well. Official data shows that there's unpaid reimbursements that are rising steadily. That is over 1,100 crore rupees. This was in 2023-2024, the year that the Congress government came into power. More than 1,170 crore rupees the following year, 2024 to 2025. And 1,600 crore rupees in the current financial year just until November. We still have some more months to go. The delay in reimbursements has left the 4 state transport corporations struggling because they can't meet operational costs anymore. That intensifies concerns over the financial sustainability of these welfare guarantees. The total outstanding now stands at a little over 4,000 crores. Here's a breakdown of Karnataka government's debt fact file, because this is not the only debt that they face. This is not the only debt they have to service. The total debt servicing cost for the financial year of 2025 stands at 64,200 crores. The total interest payment is about 39,000 crores, taking the total debt to 6.8 lakh crore rupees. The outstanding debt to GDP ratio is about 24%, and the total outstanding liabilities have grown by over 300% in the last 10 years. And all of this eventually comes out of the Aam Aadmi's pocket, because it is the voter, the taxpayer of Karnataka, that is paying for this. So is this really welfare because the Congress promised it, or is it not because it is the taxpayer in the end who's paying for it? So this is completely unaffordable for the state. It is unfeasible for the people of Karnataka. Can the Congress actually guarantee to fix this crisis? That's what we want to ask.
ಬೇಕಾಗಿತ್ತೆ BJP ಅವ್ರ ಬಂಡವಾಳ. ಹಿಂದೆ 2002 ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ ನರೇಗಾ ಹಣ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ರಾಜ್ಯ ಸರ್ಕಾರಕ್ಕೆ ಬಾಕಿ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ.
Let's open this up. Narendra Rangappa, spokesperson of Karnataka BJP, is with us. Samruddh Hegde, spokesperson of the Congress. Sandeep Paniruddhan, convener of the Citizens' Agenda for Bengaluru, will be joining us shortly. But let me begin by asking Samruddh Hegde. Did the Congress miscalculate when they were making these promises? Did they not realize how difficult it was going to be? Because there are delayed payouts, there's mounting debt, and there's an apology that came in from the minister on the floor of the House yesterday.
From where to where we have come, from first calling it Revdi culture that would bankrupt Karnataka, then a U-turn from criticism to imitation, calling it Modi ki guarantee in Maharashtra, Madhya Pradesh and Bihar. And now because Karnataka model is the only model that's working, they scream default, default, default. Now this is not changing the goalpost. The BJP have scored a political own goal. So I have a simple question for the BJP. Do you want the guarantees to be implemented, or do you want it to be scrapped? Let's get to some straight facts and figures. You're crying default, 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 that 4,000 crores haven't been paid. Out of 16,000 crores that was owed with the Shakti scheme, 11,000 crores has already been paid. And we're also paying the debts left behind by the BJP. This is a government to government department transfer. The money hasn't vanished. Let us talk some straight facts regarding these schemes. The Shakti scheme has ensured 650 crore women have free bus trips in Karnataka. 1.25 crore women through the Griha Lakshmi have received 2,000 per month. 23 months have already been credited to the people directly. Griha Jyoti, 1.6 crore households in Karnataka get free electricity. 4 crore people are ensured food security. 3 lakh people, unemployed youth, are supported while they're looking for jobs. We are the only state with a guarantee implementation authority, with district committees, with assembly-wise monitoring. International universities are studying our model. Global institutions are praising our model. This is a flagship welfare model being praised all across. They can't defeat it, so they discredit it. And here is the irony. How much has reached the women in Maharashtra and Madhya Pradesh? And after the election bribe in Bihar, how much have the women received there?
So as far as delivery is concerned, Narendra Rangappa, that the BJP can't be a holier than thou sort of a party, because it's the debt that you left, says the Congress party, which the Congress is now servicing. And as far as delayed payouts go, then that's happening in all other BJP ruled states as well, where such guarantees were made. I believe Mr. Rangappa is not with us at the moment. We'll try and reconnect that line. But Sandeep Paniruddhan is with us as well. And, you know, it is eventually the taxpayer that seems to be servicing all of this. I mean, these guarantees that were meant to be some sort of welfare schemes for people who needed it eventually ended up in people having to wait for them. And the state government is also admitting it. Do you think that this money could have been used for better purposes than this?
So frankly, it's a mixed bag. It's not like a black and white thing, because at least 3 to 4 schemes are reaching beneficiaries. So if you look at Annabhagya, it has been reaching and it is well received. It has been well appreciated. Nutrition levels are improving among the low-income group. But initially it was purely rice, which means it's an imbalance in nutrition. But the government has announced that it will improve the bag of nutrition. In fact, they're diversifying the kind of food they will give individuals, which is a good thing. If you look at the Shakti scheme, it has benefited people across the board. It's not just low-income group, even middle class and upper class are benefiting. Women are benefiting immensely by this. If you look at the money transfer scheme to women, I think it's Grupa Jyoti or something. I don't know. The money transfer to women is well appreciated. Women are feeling much more empowered. A lot of them are surprisingly quitting jobs and being able to manage their homes, able to spend more time with family. Quality of life is improved for them. But if the scheme is, let's say, if it is stopped at one day, then these women will be at a disadvantage because then they will have to establish themselves in careers. It's going to be, and also the question is, will it affect them career-wise? If you look at the power subsidy, up to free power for up to 200 units, that's a serious. There's a planning issue in that because they have locked it to previous use. So supposing you are a rich person who was using a lot of power, about 200 units, but if you stopped using that much and started using 200 or less, it would become free for you. But a poor person who was only using 20 units or 30 units, if he had to start suddenly using more than 20, he cannot avail of it. So there is a serious design flaw in that. And it is not incentivized with use. See, the whole idea of subsidizing power should be to ensure that there are slabs which have an incentive or a disincentive. So if you're using less power, you should be incentivized. If you're using more power, it should be disincentivized. It should not be tied to any previous use. Only then does it become a really good scheme. So, so as you can see, it's all a mixed bag. But the big points are, if you look at the budgetary strain on the government, there is a serious strain on the state's budget. It's already performing at 3% beyond the accepted norm for budgetary balance. So it's in seriously sensitive territory there. But if you look at it, the state budget was already performing badly before, but that was because of COVID. And then it has continued that. The whole purpose, the government needs to figure out, these are good, some of these are good welfare models.
Sure.
And keeping the future in view, it is a good pilot run because a lot of people are not talking about it, but worldwide governments are talking about a universal basic income because, not for any other reason, because AI and robots will take away jobs from all the people. In the very near future, you will see that there is going to be unemployment en masse. So we have to crack the welfare model that will replace it.
Sure. So you're saying that not having these guarantees not necessarily is a bad thing, but they need to be better planned, especially as far as budgetary allocations go, because eventually that money has to be accounted for. It's not just political slogans that you make these promises and then eventually start falling back on. But Narendra Rangappa, the Congress's argument is that right now the BJP criticizes the Congress, but this is all debt that has been left behind by you, which they are now trying to service.
See, there is a reasonable limit to lie. The Congress has a habit of lying on the floor of the House. Srimati Lakshmi Hebalkar had the audacity to intentionally lie on the floor of the House. Similarly, the Congress people have also been making such baseless allegations. This scheme of theirs, the Griha Lakshmi, then their Stree Shakti, then their Griha Jyoti, these are all turning out to be totally unscientific, unplanned and disastrous schemes. Because, as you have rightly said, when there is a due of 4,000 crore rupees to the transport corporations, how is it going to affect the health of the corporations? The buses are not repaired, tires are not changed. When tires are not changed and repaired, there is a lack of safety in the travel of the buses. Maintenance is not happening. The frequency of the buses and routes are reducing, which is causing inconvenience to the school-going and the office-going public. So the Congress has essentially created a sixth guarantee, that is lies. So they have got nothing to say but to lie. Because the classical example is Srimati Lakshmi Hebalkar. Do you expect a minister to come onto the floor of the House, which is a sanctum sanctorum, and say all the money has been paid and gone. And after 70.
But Mr.
When we
Rangappa,
went-
then she came back and apologized. She said that, yes, I agree that we've had wrong info with us and now I'm
Madam,
giving you the facts and that payment for so and so months has been delayed and we agree. She did say that too on the floor of the House.
Let me finish. As a cabinet minister, would you not do your homework and come there? This is not a 500, 600 rupee this thing. It is a 5,000 crore rupee guarantee money that should have gone by DBT. What is the minister doing there? She's sleeping over the files. Is she preparing herself? After we have pointed outly said, then she has come and said, I regret. She regrets. See, by regretting, your sins are not washed. Where is this 5,000 crores gone? We need a white paper to say where that money is. And Mr. Siddaramaiah, who is the finance minister, he is also vicariously responsible for this scam. Mr. Srimati Lakshmi Abharkar should own a moral responsibility, resign after she is cleared of her charges, then she should come and gain her office.
Samrat Hegde, as far as the BJP is concerned, these were promises made by the Congress party, knowing very well that there is some amount of debt that has been left by the BJP. If you thought that this wasn't good enough for these promises to be made, for them to be actually delivered for 5 years, then you shouldn't have made the promises in the first place. Did you not know that this debt was piling up, or that is what it will pile up even further?
So regarding the 4,000 crore debt that the 4,000 crores that we have to pay to the corporation, I already made it clear that it's a government to government transfer. Out of 16,000 crores, 11,000 crores has already been paid. Regarding the Transport Corporation, 10,000 new appointments have been made in the Transport Corporations. 5,850 new buses have been added. 4.5 lakh crore goes from Karnataka to the center. How much do we receive? 50,000 crores. We have the highest per capita. We have the highest GST collection. We have the highest FDI. Now, because we are receiving stepmotherly treatment from the center, despite which we are providing the guarantee schemes. Karnataka's sole objective is the welfare of its people. Let me finish, sir. Sir, I didn't interrupt you.
Let him finish. I'll come back. I'll give you time to rebut. Let him finish, please.
Karnataka's sole objective is the welfare of its people. We have ensured that 23 months direct beneficiary transfer has reached all the women. Where is it in the other states? Karnataka's guarantees are not slogans. We are ensuring safe mobility for women. We are paying electricity bills of houses. We are ensuring full plates, empowered women and supported youth. This is the Karnataka model. And apparently, helping billionaires by writing off 6 lakh crore loan is sound economic reform. But helping women of the state is default? 4,000 crores is what the BJP uses to collect yearly.
I would like to bring to the notice of my good friend about this Griha Lakshmi scheme. He says everything has been paid. His minister said everything has been paid. Then she said
23 months or 23 months.
In 2023, madam, when the scheme came into effect from 6/6/2023, which was gazetted, in 23 they have paid 5 installments. In 24, 10 installments have paid and 2 installments are still remaining. In 25, 5 installments are paid and 3 are still remaining. So what have you got to say about this, sir? Where is the...
Sir, from criticizing for giving money or criticizing why we are not giving?
Where is the accountability? Your chief minister has to bring out a white paper to prove that there has been no scam here. And it is his moral responsibility to sack Srimati Lakshmi Abharkar till her name is cleared. And she should also sack the officer who gave these lies to her and made her lie on the floor of the house.
Well, explanations have been asked from both sides, Sandeep Anirudhan, but as far as the people of Bengaluru are concerned, like you said, it's a mixed bag. Life is better for some people. For the others, it may not make a lot of a difference. But as far as the state as a whole is concerned, because budgetary allocations do eventually matter, and they're not just for this particular 5-year term of this particular government. They eventually do, like I said, do pile on for whoever else comes next, and then it just keeps piling on. How is the state to have to deal with such an issue like that? Because eventually, it's the taxpayer that is at the receiving end of it.
Yeah. So, see, we have to be very clear about how the entire economics works. Despite all this economic liberalization and growth and all that, we have acute poverty. Apparently, according to a a UN report, 50% of our population live one job away from poverty. You lose one job and you become a poor person. That's how acute our poverty is. And we don't have a social security net, unlike welfare states in the West. You know, all our ex-colonial masters were doing well. They all are welfare states. You take England, France, all those countries. They have excellent social security for their citizens. We don't have it. So here, and our constitution declares that we are a welfare state. But where is the welfare? We don't have any. And so there's about 5 to 10% of our population who are doing extremely well now because of all this liberalization growth. Industrialists are doing well, all that. But the bottom, more than half is doing very badly. We have to crack this. So how do we do? See, right now, we are crying over 50,000 crores that's being spent every year over the next 5 years. That's about 2.5 lakh crores. But if you really look at the subsidies that are being given to industries, a lot of subsidies going away for agriculture, which is not required actually. And a lot of other subsidies, if we clock them together, it will be multiples of these. So can a balance be found? Can we re-allot the subsidies and ensure that those who require it, need it, get it, and those who don't require, don't get it? We need to increase taxation on extremely wealthy people. We're not doing it. Some of these things we have to really relook at. We are a welfare state at the end of the day. We have huge amount of poverty, and government policy should also keep this in mind. Look at the same state government in Karnataka.
Right.
All their decisions since coming to power are very bad, very dangerous. They are planning to spend 2 lakh crores on some unnecessary project just in Bangalore. They're building,
and that's something that has been under severe criticism as well, because eventually, where is the money going to come from? That's the fundamental question, and answers don't seem to be forthcoming on that. But I have to leave it there. I thank you, gentlemen, for joining us here on this edition of Plain Speak. It is a wrap from my side. The Right Stand coming up next.
This is News 18 Network. India's largest news network.
Joining us shortly. Before we get into the politics of it, I want to ask Dhurandhar Gupta. There is a lot that can be done, should be done, could have been done, and these are things we often talk about, and every single year, unfortunately. But when we want our parliamentarians to stand united in a crisis like this and fight for us, unfortunately, that doesn't seem to be a priority for them.
You know, what I can't understand is that there was cooperation on the pandemic, I mean, while we had COVID. So now we have a graver situation at hand. We have a situation at hand that repeats like clockwork from Dussehra to Holi year after year. It's not like the union government is not aware of air pollution. It's not like it's kind of creeped up on them and they got caught with their pants down. This was part of their election promise. It was part of their manifesto, a clean and green Delhi, including a clean Yamuna. So why are they now behaving like they are surprised by this? This is on auto-repeat mode every year. I mean, I've been saying the same thing on your channel for 12 years now. So, this is a national disaster. This is a situation of war. And we have toxic politics that is kind of taking precedence over health and life. I don't understand it. I don't understand the form of government we have in this country anymore. All I'm seeing is arrogance. And let me tell you, people like me who are sick, who have children, are very, very angry. And you're going to face this wrath at the next election because everybody's got somebody who's really, really sick in their family right now. And you are playing with our health and our life. Let me tell you, what we are breathing today defines how long and how well we are going to live tomorrow. And we are not going to forget this.
Absolutely. And for somebody who's coming from Mumbai, this clearly is not a crisis that's limited to the National Capital Region anymore, because this year Mumbai saw equally bad air, something that usually doesn't happen for Mumbai. We had several other cities in the country that have witnessed such toxic levels of air as well. And yet we don't see a constructive dialogue take place, a motivation to find solutions. Charu Pragya, why do you think that is? I mean, in Parliament, there should have been a discussion. This was a 3-week-long session and it ends tomorrow.
Poonam, good evening to you and good evening to all our viewers as well. The discussion will happen And while the discussion is happening, the work is already happening on ground in Delhi. And I completely understand what Mr. Gupta is feeling, because I live in the same city. I have a young child. We have older parents, grandparents who are suffering the Delhi air. But did the Delhi air quality become like this just this November and December? Or it has been deteriorating year after year for such a long time that today we're left behind dealing with the crisis that Mr. Gupta is comparing to COVID right now. Mr. Gupta, let me break this down, and I'm not making excuses. I'm only telling you the work the government is doing on ground. I did not interrupt you, sir, and very respectfully and very humbly. There is zero arrogance here. Our minister, I did not interrupt you, sir. Allow me to finish speaking before you come in. Allow me to finish speaking because I did not interrupt you.
Mr. Gupta, let her finish. I'll give you your opportunity to rebut.
Thank you. I do not see any arrogance here, sir, because our minister humbly apologized because he admitted he couldn't wave a magic wand and fix the issues piling up for 11 years in 10 months flat. He apologized for that, even though you are expecting it. But then who else would you expect from, apart from the Bharatiya Janata Party government? Let me tell you some work that has been happening on ground, so our citizens also know, and it's important I put this out. And I will also address issues that I have been raising for years and years, which we are finally working on. Do you know, in 2013, the Supreme Court said Delhi needs at least 11,000 buses. At that point of time, Delhi approximately had 6,000 buses. Today, Delhi has barely 5,000. You know why the number became so low? Because Aam Aadmi Party did not replace those buses. In the last 8 months alone, 1,400 buses, EV buses, have been added by the Bhajpa Sarkar. You will not acknowledge that. We have promised in our manifesto a clean Delhi, a green Delhi, but that is happening month after month, with work happening month after month. And you have to acknowledge that. Like I said, unless you are looking for a magic wand solution, unless you're actually hoping for that to happen, you have to listen to me. Poonam, let me finish. I want to say certain things, and I will be grateful if you will ask Mr. Gupta to wait.
Mr. Gupta, just a second, please. I'll come to you.
City, Mr. Gupta.
Let's keep this civil so that everyone's point of view is heard.
Yes,
I'll come back to you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Gupta. You're not the only citizen of Delhi.
This is not a political discussion, ma'am.
No, this is a discussion on work happening on ground. And if you're asking questions of the government, it becomes a political discussion. I'm answering on behalf of the government. If you have no intention of hearing what the government has to say and then saying it's not a political discussion, then you can have one in your living room. You wouldn't be on a political debate show about this. Can I speak, please?
About band-aid fixes.
Mr. Gupta, I'll come back to you. Abhishek Dutt, I know you want to come in as well. But Charu Pragya, the problem here is that a lot of people like Mr. Gupta and a lot of other people in the national capital do feel that, yes, there are solutions that or measures that have been taken into account, but they are a little too late and there are knee-jerk reactions.
No, so Poonam, and I want to say all this, right? Because questions are being raised of the government and I want to answer on behalf of it. One, it's no longer a seasonal problem. The day Delhi government, Rekha ji, took charge, it became our priority. So whether it is the water of the Yamuna or the air pollution, we are making efforts every single day, and I will list it out for you. We have a 2,700 crore deployment program which is already on the ground. Today we have enforcement teams, 1,800 plus of them, which didn't exist last year, sir. We have collected fines of 400 crores from buses, cars, private vehicles, construction sites, which didn't happen last year. Construction inspections in November alone is over 9,000. 42,000 potholes have been fixed in just 1 year. What was happening till last year? Mist is on 326 electric poles. There is a daily deployment of 388 anti-smog guns. 270 water sprinklers are working in Delhi, sprinkling the roads and places where there is excess dust. 75 mechanical sweepers are there. And when I'm talking about buses, understand this. This is not China. You cannot mandate suddenly and say take all the cars off the road, because if we did that, there would be another kind of a political discussion. What are we doing instead? We are strengthening public transport system. Again, it should have been done after 2013 when the Supreme Court made the observations. It didn't happen. Today, BJP is adding hundreds of buses every day, sir. Even today, 100 buses were given to the state of Delhi. DTC routes were taken down by 30% by Aam Aadmi Party. I didn't hear any
Namaste, Jai Hind, and welcome to this edition of the Right Stand. Vande Mataram viewers. First up, the Dhurandhar effect. Is this a period where Bharat's narrative will be before Dhurandhar and after Dhurandhar? And there's a reason why, because it's stirring up quite a phenomenon. It's being blocked, it's spooking the enemy, and the enemy is trying its best to try and twist this entire narrative. But people are walking in, sitting down quietly and watching the Bharat story. The truth behind all those facades and all those false narratives. This Bharatiya spy thriller, Dhurandhar, setting off a cinematic and diplomatic firestorm over in the neighborhood, especially in Pakistan. It's become a rage despite a total official ban in Pakistan. People are watching it when corrupted, pirated videos, etc., minus tracks on the dark web. Massive torrents, piracy links flooding the internet, with Pakistan's own dark web experts reportedly accessing or generating high traffic links via servers in Sri Lanka, Nepal and Malaysia.